Okay, good morning. I had a message coming through, and I've been kind of quiet for a while, been away from video for a while. And so I'm realizing more and more that when a very strong message comes in, it means that other people are connected to the topic or the subject or the frequency of the transmission of the information that's coming through. So I hope that this might serve a few people that are in the space of starting to think about habits. And I've been really looking at habits a lot. And of course, I know as a coach, we have a lot of coaches talking about habits all the time, right? It almost seems like a repetitive topic that's like no big surprise that a coach is talking about habits. But it actually is just so important the way that habits are woven into our lives and how they create our paradigms. And so that's one of the things. I was just over at the beach this morning here in South Florida, and we just had a couple days of intense rain, and the sun is out and it's beautiful. And I went out into the ocean and did a swim. And of course, as I'm out in the water, this whole stream of information is coming through. And so I kind of swam in to get my phone and recorded a couple voice notes so that I could kind of remember what I wanted to talk about. But one of the things that's really important to think about with habits is that number one, they settle in over time, which is no surprise. We all know this. But there are certain things in your day, your thoughts, your actions, your patterns that cumulatively create this fabric of your life and your business. And the smallest things actually can be the biggest things. And so I'm going to give you an example of something I caught myself with yesterday. One of my kind of commitments right now in this phase of my life and my business is to really, really fine tune my morning routine and fine tune like the time I'm getting up and being consistent with it. I've been very inconsistent and not committed. So being committed is a main ingredient in creating your empowering habits that will carry through. And so for me, I love to have my morning cup of coffee, and I like to set my coffee maker and my coffee pot the night before and have it all ready so I can just stumble to the kitchen and push start and have it come on, or either program the maker. And so yesterday was Saturday. I was so lazy yesterday. I didn't want to do anything. It was a struggle to just like get myself to in gear to do anything. And so I was considering just skipping my crucial part of my morning routine of making my coffee. And I caught myself and I was like, why do I not want to do this? And I could not come up with a good reason. And so whenever you have something that you're trying to, that you know will be supportive for you and you know is important, but you don't want to do it, ask yourself, what reason can you come up with to justify not doing it? Like what is the reason? Can I come up with a reason to justify why I shouldn't do this? And I couldn't. There was no good reason. And so I just like shifted. I was like, there's no good reason. This is just an identity in me that is like an old identity that just kind of like checks out sometimes and doesn't want to apply himself and to actually show up for himself. So I just caught that. So for me in that moment, I told the universe, like, I'm committed to my process. I'm committed to my growth, and I'm committed to my creating my own paradigm and the habits that form that paradigm. And so when we talk about habits, we have passive habits and we have dynamic habits. And so passive habits are things that are more of a relaxing nature, that are revitalizing, like meditation, quieting the mind, just sitting by the water, observing, quieting the thoughts. These are all very empowering habits, obviously, when we can just like reset. But we can't just always be in passive habits all the time. I see this especially in the spiritual community. It's almost like too passive too much all the time without dynamic action. Like, you have to have both. So your dynamic habits might be something like going for a run. And I'm just talking about kind of like lifestyle right now, but it might be sitting down and actually getting that spreadsheet done, because a lot of us want to be in flow all the time and we want for things to feel good. and we want for them to be empowering, and we want for them to come easily and with inspiration and even motivation. But here's the key. If you have ingrained long-term habits that are empowering, that you've actually curated yourself and that you've created and woven together, then you're going to get into flow naturally. You're naturally going to be in flow more often. You're going to be in your inspiration, and you don't have to start reaching to get motivated, because rarely are you going to be motivated for a lot of things until they become a habit. So the tool for really starting to create habits comes from two factors. You have to have, number one, initiative. It's literally like the spark that lights the fire that will actually move you forward and create these patterns and habits that literally anchor into your body template, into your energetic template. And they also start to work with your mental capacity and your nervous system, right? And ingraining those into the subconscious so that they become automatic. So initiative is number one. And then you have to have discipline come in. And sometimes we can think of discipline as being not so desirable because it feels like, oh, that's going to be work, or it's going to take, a lot of effort. And actually, discipline is just more about timing. It's more about repetition. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be me committing to setting my coffee maker the night before for 30 days or 60 days or however long it takes you for that to just be automatic. Like making the bed is just automatic for me. Like I would never dream of like not making my bed in the morning. It's like the first thing I do. It's like I've already accomplished one thing in the morning by like making up my bed. So look at where you are being called to take more initiative, like focusing your attention on one area. And then what is the discipline that will be required for you to ingrain that and create that as a habit? And then the habit becomes more automatic. And the more automatic habits you have that are deliberate, that are empowering, you will have a much easier time being in flow and staying in flow. And when you get out of flow, you can kind of look and say, okay, well, am I missing one of my habits? Do I need a new habit? Do I need to add something in here? And you can always tweak it. So I hope that this helps someone today. If you have been struggling with habits, I also would encourage you to kind of just look at and reevaluate what actually is nourishing to you. Because as you up level and become different versions of yourself, there are different things that you're called to create and to gift to yourself and to show up for yourself in. So this is like a constant process. This is always going to be, as we up level, we come to a certain level and then we plateau, and then it's time for us to go to the next level. This is really what quantum growth and taking quantum leaps and creating the space to actually receive quantum upgrades is that we constantly have to be self-monitoring. We have to be able to look at where we're being called to shift something or change something or add something or keep something. So it's all about being deliberate. It's about taking initiative. It's about making the commitment to be disciplined for however long that takes you to create the consistency that will ingrain the habit. So wishing you all a beautiful Sunday. Have a powerful new week. This is Chad Welch signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.